So as I say, this is the mastery of delivery. And mastery, just again as a refresher, it sits as the foundation level in the 6 steps that we coach on in Action Coach, the 6 steps to massive results in a business. And really in the mastery space, it is about eliminating chaos in the business. And issues of chaos could include team challenges, financial challenges, manufacturing supply chain challenges, obviously delivery challenges into the market, etc. But it's about building that firm foundation, and on that foundation, then building what the business delivers. And as I mentioned just before this, is that the next step up then we look at from mastery is the niche area. What is our USP, our value proposition that generates for us a predictable cash flow based on the value we put into something that nobody else is able to do? Once we have that defined at the foundational level, the 2 blue blocks at the bottom, we then look at how we systemize that, how we systemize the foundation, how we systemize the value proposition, and how we then make that work time after time and consistently in the business. So we build efficiency into our business engine. And once we have those 3 down, we are then talking about how we structure the organization from a team point of view. Very often we put team before systems because we expect that our teams are going to build the systems for us. The downfall with that is that we end up with systems built around people and not built around servicing the business. And there's a very crucial difference in that. Not the subject for today's talk, but very definitely something that is worth exploring further. And once we have those first 4 in place, we're then into the space of where our business is running as a well-oiled machine, and where there is the opportunity for business owner to potentially extract themselves while the business continues to run and deliver value and deliver financial results. And obviously then into the results space is where we're empowered to make choices around things like finances, investment decisions that we can make on what we do with profits, what we do with results, whether we flight another business, whether we reinvest into the organization, whether we grow. And of course, any of those decisions brings us back into a review of the mastery space, and so the cycle continues. So all of this supports the Action Coach definition of a successful business. And we define a successful business as being a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without the business owner. In other words, when the business owner is able to remove themselves from the everyday, the business works for us, not us for the business. And it's part of the definition of working on your business versus working in your business. So when we look at the mastery space, we're really addressing that commercial enterprise portion of that definition. It's putting the commercial foundations, the commercial principles of the business into play. And as I've mentioned, there are 4 areas of mastery that we deal with in this area. That is destination mastery. It's our vision. It's our life plan. It's where we see the business going in relation to where we want to go as an individual. And Subhash, this probably resonates with a lot of your work as well, because we talk about our life plan informs what the business plan needs to be, because the business plan needs to enable our vision and enable what we want to achieve in the business. And from that business plan, we then determine what the marketing plan actually is. So it's a 3-point continuum, or 3 milestone continuum. Is the life plan informs the business plan, which services the life plan, and the business plan informs the marketing plan, which services the business plan. Many times business owners or first-time business owners that I talk to, their minds are first and foremost into the space of, how do I market my business? And they market the business to achieve usually a very baseline result, just to gain customers, etc. But because it's not informed by a business plan, the type of customer, the scale of customer, the scale of transaction is out of kilter with what they actually want the business ultimately to deliver. And that's against their ambition from a life plan point of view. So by dealing with these areas of mastery, we're really able to put the foundation in place that enables the business plan to service the life plan. And the conversation around delivery mastery also then starts to tap into the marketing plan conversation, because it talks about customers and where our customers are. So we identify 4 particular areas in delivery, in the delivery master space. We talk about supply, we talk about quality, we talk about ease of purchase, and then something that I know is very close to Larry's heart is service. So the 4 areas of delivery mastery are supply, quality, ease of purchase, and service. So let's jump straight into supply. So obviously with all of these, we have different businesses represented on the call today. So each one of these areas is going to be different for your particular business. So therefore, I'm more provoking some thinking in this space rather than looking at silver bullet solutions for everybody. So as an example, when we look at supply, can your customers, can your clients get what they pay for? And again, here, I think Pumi's example was spot on. Wanting a particular service, able to pay for that particular service, but the supplier is not actually able to deliver that service. Can they get what they pay for on time? The question that sits behind this question is, how long does it take you to get your service or your product from your desk, your warehouse, your production line, through into the client's world in a time frame where it makes a difference to their business, makes a difference to their organization, and delivers the results that they're looking for. Can you make, buy, or deliver the products or services to your customers and clients with consistency? In other words, what I provide to you today, can I provide that same thing tomorrow, the day after, the week after, and the month after that? Why is that important? It's important because when we look at our source of business, the most cost-effective space to grow new business is with existing customers, because we've already invested in developing the relationship. They already know us. They hopefully already trust us based on what we've delivered previously. And let's hope that they like us. And the psychology of sales will tell us that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And when you already have that with an existing customer base, it's then a question of get them to buy from you again. How can you get them to buy at a higher value? And how can you get them to buy repeatedly? In that very simple example, is ready cash flow, is ready revenue, is returning revenue for very little input. And that makes business sense all day long. It reduces your marketing cost because you already have a known client, a known customer. And at the same time, it eases the cash flow and reduces cash gap in your business. In order to deliver consistently, we have to look at, are there supply chain bottlenecks? So where you are a service-based organization, what might some of those look like? What stops me, for example, from being able to deliver a service to my client? How does my supply, or what does my supply chain look like? It's an IP-based business. It's a human contact business, and it's an outcomes business in the client environment. So fortunately, there are some shared risks in the relationship, but there are also shared activities in those relationships. And that is one of the things that does mitigate supply chain issue on my side, for example. But look into your own businesses and where are some of the areas that potentially impact how you're able to deliver product or service to your client. And again, as I've mentioned before, it's not about doing the one thing at a 100% impact. It's about doing 100 things at a 1% impact. So basics, basics, basics are what ultimately deliver at the end of the day. So basic delivery, just getting your product or your service, as I say, from your desk, your warehouse, or your production line into the client's world as easily, as cost effectively, and as efficiently as possible is where your revenue stream comes from and where the potential for the growth of your business comes from. So right now, even we're looking at things, particularly in this lockdown period, we're looking at things and going, but I'm not able to physically get my product to my customer. And here I want to draw on another business owner who I deal with on occasion, who sells alcohol into the market. And of course, alcohol sales are now banned. She has a craft brand, and that craft brand has done very, very well. But she's now in a position where she's not able to get her product into a Norman Goodfellas or a ShopRite or a Tops Spa. So what she has started doing is pre-selling. So pre-selling at this stage with an incentive around the delivery once the ban on alcohol sale is lifted. So what is she doing? She's basically hedging the volume that she has in the distillery to be able to get that out to market, ensuring that once the ban is lifted and there's no longer a restriction on supply, the bottleneck, the logistical bottlenecks of producing the volume that the market will require at that point, and also being able to get that to market quickly as demand increases, that she's mitigated. She's taken that off the table. So again, basic steps, absolutely vital for growth in the space that we want to get into. And then, of course, it's about looking at what volume of sales increase can you handle. Now, at this point, we can go very deeply into things like lead generation, conversion rate, and the ability to deliver that to a particular customer base of a particular size. I'm not going to go into that at this stage. That's dealt with in another webinar, another video that's on my YouTube channel, and that is called the 5 ways to improve profitability, cash flow, revenue, etc. And very simply, of course, as I said before, your customers who are currently in your pond are the ones you want to look after. So at no cost, at absolutely no cost, you want to lose customers through something as simple as bad delivery. And the absolute outtake here is consistency of delivery. That is the gospel truth for this particular area of delivery mastery. It is consistency, consistency, consistency. Getting that product to the client, to the customer, time after time, at the same quality and with the same efficiency. So the next area in delivery mastery is quality. Very much related to the last point around bad experience. There's absolutely no way to get a customer back once you've tainted that relationship by delivering something that is subpar, that is substandard. For most companies, always trying to go the extra mile sometimes is more than what they can handle. And again, the basic tenet here is deliver what you've promised. Any day, all day long, deliver what you've promised. Yes, over delivery is absolutely excellent, but only once your organization has the fundamentals in place that allows or supports the possibility of over delivery. Right now, and especially in these trying times, just delivering what you promise you will, when you will deliver it, that is absolutely key to maintaining clients and to maintaining revenue. And of course, cash flow is the backbone of growth, more than profit actually is. So if you went back into your organization, into your business, and you looked at where are you losing customers because of low quality, because of the little the little skimp on a particular bit of material or a particular type of presentation or a particular technique, for example, where have you potentially lost, or where are you potentially at risk of losing customers due to low quality? What are the areas that you deliver in very well, and where are the areas that you struggle? And how do you bolster the fantastic delivery, either in order to improve the areas of struggle, or are you able to focus on areas of struggle while the spaces in which you deliver well continue to deliver well? And this is what I was speaking about earlier on around the systemization of the business. And we talk about systemizing the normal and humanizing the exception. And here's a really fantastic example of where the areas that you deliver well in, that where the business runs as a well-oiled machine, that should be systemized. The areas where you struggle should be humanized, where you have to have human intervention to be able to get that up to a point where then you can systemize that and it goes into your toolbox of efficiency and consistent delivery and consistent quality. And so with that, in terms of identifying areas of struggle, is pay heed all day long to customer complaints. Whether it is the most basic, the most ridiculous, is understand why that complaint has happened. Because ultimately delivery and customer satisfaction is about experience. It's not necessarily about how good the product is, how good the delivery is, but it is about how the customer experiences that product and experiences the delivery. So customer might complain that a product is hard to use. Because you know your product really well, you might write that off as just a very difficult customer. But what are some of the potentials around that? Perhaps the value add, which is the training the customer receives on using that product, or the instruction manual might be difficult, might not be as well written as it could be. And that is an area where the quality of the supporting material detracts from the quality of the product. And so the customer finding that item difficult to use simply because they've not been able to understand what to do is easily multiplied to 10 customers or 100 customers for something that is really simple and very, very easy to fix and very easy to understand when simply you have that engagement with the customer and you do dig deeper into the customer complaint area. One of the easiest ways for us to identify where there are quality gaps is when we try and buy our own product or when we try and access our own service. When we test that, how easy is it? And sometimes that's not necessarily us individually, but getting somebody to test it for us very often indicates the gaps. I have a function on my website, which is called a health business questionnaire. Occasionally I will go in there and I will test it to ensure that the links remain active, that the emails go where they need to go. And so that anybody who is using that facility or using that tool is definitely going to get the response back that they need to get. So go in, check how easy is it to buy from your business, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email test, whether it's testing your 0800 number, whether it's testing to see whether your website links work, etc. Can you buy from yourself, and is it a quality experience? What would you not tolerate? What would turn you off from that sale? And from that experience is make sure that customers then get what they pay for. Do you get the experience that you are testing within your business? So for example, one of the guarantees of quality that I subscribe to and that I have, and it's part of the Global Action Coach guarantee, is that for all of our one-to-one clients, those clients who we coach individually, we guarantee that they will find the value of our fee within the first 17 weeks of coaching, or we will coach them for free. Either I will coach them for free, or they will be assigned to another coach who will pick up that commitment for free. That is a guarantee that we stand by globally, and it is a guarantee of the quality of IP and the quality of coaching experience that our clients receive. So question to you is, what is the kind of quality in your business that you can guarantee, and what is the extent of that guarantee. And in fact, is that something that could be part of your marketing toolkit, especially now as we look to create hooks to generate new business opportunities in a time of financial challenge. Ease of purchase, very, very closely linked to what I've spoken about previously. It's surprising how many companies almost go out of their way to not have customers buy from them. I've mentioned it before on this webinar about your existing customers being the best pond to fish in because of a reduction of cost. But in effect, it's looking at also how do you then grow that into new customers. And sometimes in times like these, we have to remember that we also have to not only fish from a known pond, but we also have to feed that pond. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes we need to re-educate our customers about how to do business with us. So it was mentioned before that, maybe we're moving into an online space. How many of our customers are used to operating in an online space? For us, we might say it's the right thing to do right now and it makes the most sense. But within that is a massive assumption that our customers are actually operating in an online space. And funnily enough, there are certain things that work in an online environment and certain things that customers won't do. I have a client who is in consumer electronics. So he sells cell phones and laptops. And through conversation and through coaching, we've looked at which one of those moves better in an online environment. And the funny thing is, cell phones do not move online. They just actually don't sell. Amazingly, he can sell laptops. And it's a small thing around the customer experience and how the customers perceive the product and the service. For most of them, a laptop is a utilitarian thing. I use it, it's maybe what I do business on or I'm studying on, and I will use it occasionally. But something like a cell phone is with me every single minute of the day. It's highly personal. I want to be able to touch it. I want to feel its weight. I want to test the interface. I want to see how that works. And so there's a certain amount of re-education and incentive to get customers to understand how they can transact online and how to potentially transact with our services. So it is one of the things we have to remember, that sometimes it's not just fishing in the same pond. Sometimes it is about feeding the fish as well, feeding the fish at the same time to ensure they can transact with us. So remember that when you put yourself in the customer experience, and this is why doing a mystery shop on your own business is fantastic. It gives you a quick indication of, are you easy to know about? In one of the previous webinars, I spoke about exploring your digital footprint and your online presence. Can people find you, and can they find your product? Can they see what your inventory has, what your inventory is? Do they know what you have and therefore what they can buy from you? How easy is it for them to pay? Is now potentially part of the pivot being moving to debit orders for even service organizations, so that you reduce the admin burden on your business, but you also ensure a revenue stream coming in and reducing the cash gap in your business. And how easy is it for them to repeat buy? Remember, as I said before, repeat purchase is part of building a strong cash flow base within your business. So let's look at customer service. Let's understand we're now in a time of lockdown where we can't engage with our clients through our product, but what a perfect time to actually now survey them. What do you think of our business? What do we think we do really well? The conversation of niche previously, very often we believe that the intrinsics of our service and the intrinsics of our product will sell themselves. But when we have a word with our customers, we very often understand or get to learn that what they see as value in what we present is not necessarily what we believe is the value proposition we are offering. And now, just through a simple phone call or a simple survey, connecting with our customers does two things. One, it keeps us top of mind. And two, it gives us the information back to be able to tailor our marketing activities to them. So customers might not be expecting to hear from you right now. So what an awesome opportunity to reach out to phone, have a conversation with them, get to understand where they find value in your business, and also pre-position them for any pre-sale or new sale that comes up at the end of this lockdown period. So that's around the ease of purchase. Then, of course, service. I mentioned service before as being experience, being experience-based, and only note that service comes at the end. Service is not our first objective. Service is the delivery of all of the foundational things we have done in our delivery excellence or delivery mastery space. We cannot offer fantastic service on a product that is never going to be delivered, or on a product that is going to break in 2 days' time, or a service that is going to terminate in 2 days' time. Then it doesn't matter how good the service is, the overall experience is going to fall flat. But with all of those fundamentals in place, it's now a question of how do we get great customer service to our clients. Sometimes, again, it's the 1%, or the one element delivering 1%. Sometimes that's just the great voice at the other end of the phone. It's just the smile. It's the great handshake. It's the good packaging. It's the delivering before the actual deadline. And now is also a great opportunity to go back into your books and look at, well, where did I lose business or lose customers potentially because of bad service? I think this part of the talk I could probably hand over to Larry O'Sullivan from Customer Service Excellence, and he'd be able to expand this for another probably 15 hours. But very often, again, the objectivity that we get from a fresh set of eyes here through things like mystery shopping or mystery experience in our business can be very, very telling. And it's really important that we ensure our teams, where we have teams, understand that ethos and understand that ethic. Sometimes even as sole business people, we're focused on either getting to the next client or just getting the job out the door. And sometimes it takes just 10 or 15 minutes to sit back, look at the job, look at the presentation, look at the package, and question ourselves whether we're happy to sign our name to that and put it out into the market. And are we doing it in the right way? So how do we test our own service as individual business people, as business leaders and business owners? And if we need to have the hard conversations of retraining or replacing people who don't care about service, that's something that we've got to do. It is about understanding where repeat business comes from and how we bring our fish back to our business. And ultimately, it's applying common sense as well. If you look at what works for me, what am I happy with, how do I appreciate good service, and what do I define as good service, most likely is going to be what your customers will define as good service. So I have included a little checklist here, which again you can either pull up once this video is published to YouTube, or I can make available to you offline as a checklist, and it really just looks at what am I doing now, yes or no. Do I have consistency as my primary customer focus, as an example? If the answer is yes, fantastic. How do I maintain that? What plan do I have to maintain that over the next 90 days? And 90 days is quite a crucial time frame, because we are going to see a new normal eventually start to emerge. It's not going to emerge at the end of our lockdown period, but it will take 2 or 3 months after April to actually get into that space. So looking at it from a 90-day perspective is quite powerful at this stage. So just looking at these items, going through them, tick listing all of them, and then developing a little action plan over the next 90 days that says, yeah, absolutely, this is what I'm focusing on. This improves my delivery. This brings better delivery to my customers and ultimately improves my customer experience, and therefore generates positivity, generates good reputation, and generates the possibility of either repeat business or referral, which is absolutely crucial in all of our businesses as well.